I know I may have said this a million times over the years, but I think I can get away with saying it at least one more time. There has always been something so special about this niche. It is something you really don't have to look hard to find because it's right in front of you how passionate people are about their favorite characters, and it's forever undeniable how much these moments have meant to all of you. You guys have always held a very special place in your hearts for your favorite characters and all the wonderful moments that brought you to the moment where you realized that being a fan of Descendants of Zombies was just simply the coolest feeling in the world that anybody could ever have the chance to experience. And for those of you who have never been formally introduced to the concept of both Descendants and Zombies, I would like to welcome you to these conversations because I know I have some new subscribers, so I'll just take this moment to go ahead and kind of reintroduce myself to the people who have newly subscribed who may have never heard of my voice or never heard of me ever before. Hi, my name is Jonathan Clarke, and I am one of the biggest self-professed fans of Descendants and Zombies that there ever could have been created because once you come upon this YouTube channel, you will find in the archives there is a video for somebody out there who feels passionate about whatever it is they feel about when it comes to Descendants of Zombies. There truly is something found in the YouTube channel archives of this channel really for everybody. And I would love for you to continue to be a part of these conversations for a long time to come because there's always something special to sharing. Incredible milestones, incredible records that we both shattered and set for ourselves because really this was a dream come true for me to kind of profile everything from the Worlds Collide tour to the premiere of the movies to seeing these stars really come into their own, really coming of age, having opportunity after opportunity presented to them and really making the most of them, which is what made us all fans of Descendants of Zombies and brought us that much closer together. Because watching Ruby Rose Turner grow up and become the phenomenon she would go on to become, Kylie Control the same, people like Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, it was a tremendous honor. I never knew from the first moment that I laid eyes on Dove Cameron back in, I'll say 2013, when I was binge watching Liv and Manny. I never imagined that she would go on to hold such a special place in the heart of so many wonderful people. A place of relevancy where her legacy would last for forever and always, because you guys never let go of the characters she represented, no matter if it was Liv and Manny playing the double role of the double life characters on that sitcom, or the character Mal in Descendants. You guys have always held a very special place in your heart for her, and you forever and always remain supportive of her. And you've kind of carried over that same incentive to the stars of the new generation because you did the exact same thing for Kylie Contrell, Ruby Rose Turner, which made me appreciate them and you even more. I think ever before somebody pushes record to share their thoughts with the world or begin sharing their thoughts with the world on a concept such as Descendants of Zombies, they really have to understand to be appreciative of their audience and really accept them for who they love, why they love what they love, and what makes them them. And until you can understand and appreciate your audience the way that I've come to over at least the last decade, you can never really grasp that same appreciation they have for the story or really come to terms with how special it is to so many wonderful people. Because you see, it was never just a story that made people fans of Descendants of Zombies. It may have been a favorite song. It may have been a favorite character for their fashion presence, for their dealing with peer pressure, for the stories they may have shared with you that were relatable, that you found relatable, that you could relate to because you may have been caught up in the same situation or circumstance that may have befallen you. And when you saw your favorites that you saw as heroes in Descendants of Zombies kind of going through the same thing, you were able to push yourself further. You were able to set goals for yourself and aspirations, and you were pushed that much further to your dream, which I can assure you there is no greater feeling in the world to have right in front of your very eyes when you realize you're that much closer to your dream than ever before. Now, I know my dreams were really far out there. One of my biggest dreams was to live in a house near a solar plantation and a chemical plant that may have exploded 50 years ago, which conveniently enough I had the chance to do. Another dream I had was construct a roller coaster, Phineas and Ferb like, from my backyard. Another dream I had was that I was going to jump down for a rabbit hole and meet the Queen of Hearts, have the chance to hang out with Red and Chloe, get to know them a whole lot better for the people they were and who they always wanted to become. I had a lot of really far out dreams. But my biggest dream became more of a reality for me than I ever imagined it would because I had the chance to become a voice and the chance to represent a soundtrack. And I not only had the chance to sit here and talk about Descendants of Zombies, which thousands of people would subscribe to the conversation of and because of, I had the chance to meet all of you. Today in particular, we've had a lot of people hit the subscribe button. I have no idea why, but I'll just go ahead and say thank you to all of you once again for hitting my subscribe button and coming along with me on what I promise you will be an unforgettable and truly breathtaking journey because there's always something special to take away from whatever moment that you remember making you a fan of Descendants of Zombies that brought you to that moment where you realized or thought of being a fan of Descendants of Zombies was just simply the coolest feeling in the world. That gives me more incentive than ever before to sit here in front of this microphone wearing my Mickey Mouse jean jacket, so proud to put my passion on display, which eventually went on to become a passion for all things related to Descendants of Zombies, which I know has held an emphatic place in your heart for many years and will continue to for many years to come. I know people have been made to feel very differently about the current direction of the storylines because there are a lot of people who have kind of taken exception to the direction that Descendants may be headed in. But the reality of life is these are just predictions. We really don't know what direction Descendants is currently headed in, and I don't even think the writers and producers even know what current direction Descendants is headed in. We just have to allow time because as we allow time, a more powerful script will become developed. There will be more of a chance given to these characters, and that's exactly what I wanted to do, along with solidifying their legacies as some of the greatest of all time. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I always wanted to leave behind a legacy in my wake, and I always wanted to be remembered for having been a legend. It is said a legend is built on stories that are almost too hard that are told to believe. And I've had my fair share of stories and fair share of experiences that I've shared with you guys over the years that you guys have gained a greater appreciation for because I've always seemed to know how this industry has worked. This industry has worked in mysterious ways where people are always coming in from behind you, from that same door that you may have entered in through, trying to take your position away from you, trying to impress people even more than you already did. So because of how this industry is always evolving and constantly changing, your favorites from Descendants of Zombies have deserved equal opportunities. They've never deserved the criticism they may have been subjected to. They've never deserved to be made to feel the way they have. And I just kind of wanted to replace these conversations that we could have had with something nice to always say because there was always something to value about how they always had the biggest dreams. I've heard Leah Money Segura talking about how she wants to perform on the stage at Madison Square Garden. She's wanted to win a Grammy Award. And I know she may be a long way away from ever winning a Grammy Award, but who's to say it can't happen for her because we are the people who have kind of came together that could make that happen for her. And I've often sat here and I've pretty much spent a lot of nights lying awake wondering how I could make this happen for Leah Money Segura. I got to be honest because I saw a lot of passion and a whole lot of heart given to all of her roles for both Descendants and the upcoming Camp Rock 3, which we are literally just 3 nights away from. The countdown is currently on. People are counting down the nights to how many sleeps we have left until Camp Rock 3, and I'm going to be just as excited as all of you because when I saw the original Camp Rocks 1 and 2 from 2008 up until 2010, I never imagined we'd get to the point where this will become a trilogy, but I guess with how High School Musical became a trilogy relatively quick, and we saw so much happen for Hannah Montana. Wizards of Waverly Place will go on to explode in popularity the way that it did. I think that this was always meant to happen, and we've had to wait quite some time, but at least Camp Rock is having the chance to become a trilogy for what is the first time ever, and I think a lot of people, more people than ever before, who make up this generation are really excited about it. I want to wish the cast of Camp Rock all the best in the upcoming reviews because for sure this one is bound to receive its fair share of criticism. But again, there is really a lot we can do about that because we can come together and we can kind of shut out the criticism, which is something I always wanted to do. Because I remember the soundtrack for Camp Rock 2, most of all, being so powerful. Kind of like how Descendants 2 soundtrack was probably the best soundtrack that was ever released for a Descendants compilation. I think the music had gotten better by Descendants 2. People were really raving about it. They couldn't stop talking about it nor watching Descendants 2. And so many people wanted to get in on the action that Descendants 2 presented us with because it was a deeper story. The music had gotten better. The music videos were outstanding. And the performance criteria and level that people like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson took this one to were truly undescribable. And I felt more than honored to experience the premiere of Descendants back in 2015, just 2 years later, Descendants 2, and Descendants 3, the epic finale, which was believed to be the end of a story, and it was pretty much told and completed at that time. And then the royal wedding happens, an animated special. They set us up to become introduced to a whole new generation of characters, which were comprised of Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, and look what they've done with this franchise. For sure, people will forever criticize it. They've been made to feel differently, but it's only because they've been made to feel differently about a story that they more often than enough could never make sense of it. And the reason why they could never make sense of it is because nobody has really ever been able to commentate on Descendants of Zombies quite like this guy because I've seen value in commentaries. I could have chosen to record the average reaction video and pretty much been like everybody else. But in a 7 to 12 minute long reaction video, you don't really get a whole lot. And you can never really tell the world how you truly feel. So I think that commentating on something really opens up the door more widely than ever before for a prediction you may have about who Red and Chloe's father is going to be, or what lies ahead for all these new characters that we have yet to see make names for themselves in this industry because their story has never really been fully told or completed. There's always something so special to take away from a character story and to feel more inspired about. And that's what I felt so honored to be here to see. I know that Red and Chloe obviously feel very differently about each other behind the camera. It's almost like during the PR for Descendants Wicked Wonderland, they didn't want to be around each other. When one would speak, the other one would remain quiet. And then 2 years ago in 2024, they were always interacting with each other. So I think a lot of fans were kind of questioning, what was really happening here. Obviously, we knew the reason why, but I'm not going to get into that. But the thing is, you guys have forever and always remained loyal to your favorite characters. You probably wish that things weren't the way they were for people like Kylie and Malia. But the thing is, guys, you forever and always remained supportive of them, and you've brought them to this moment where they can release EPs like Problems of a Valley Girl, and it can go on to see a profound amount of success. And Kylie Contrell can represent herself with strength and empowerment, which is something I give her a tremendous amount of credit for having done. I do the same thing for Malia Baker because I love looking at them equally because I believe they deserve equal amounts of opportunities, like to be in Marvel movies or to perform on the Grammy stage in Liamani's case. And when I hear these dreams, I think to myself, what can we do to really make this happen for them? Because they've come such a long way in such a short amount of time. And there really is something to value about how they really put their heart along with a tremendous amount of dedication behind everyone and everything they may have ever believed in because this is their one shot and they really need to make the most of it. And I think that because we believed in them so much, we really held on to something that really seems like it's going to last for forever because I'm just going to go ahead and say this. These two franchises, Descendants of Zombies and now obviously Camp Rock 3, have become franchises that seemingly have a chance of lasting for forever. That's how these stories have been told. That's how it's been made to seem to be. So I think as we continue to hold on and make our way into what seems to be a very unpredictable future, which makes the future more exciting to be a part of because we don't know what the future has in store, again, that will allow people to really learn to value and always take away something special from these stories that we once held close to our heart from a generation long forgotten about, but a new generation we've kind of come upon. And now the cool thing is we have Disney Plus because back in 2015, as a year I could use as an example, we didn't have Disney Plus. So one of the things Disney Plus allows you to do is go back in time, relive the generations that once were, and kind of put into perspective how much it means to so many incredible people to truly have the opportunity to be a part of something truly special. And I know that I could have only ever had the chance to be a part of that something special really with all of you because of all of you and how you came together and allowed me the honor of becoming a part of a world, a soundtrack, and a story that would go on to mean so much to my heart on beautiful evenings such as the one we have in front of us. So as we close out this conversation, I would just like to take a moment to say thank you to all of you who are new here, who probably have never heard of my voice before, who have never heard of me before in their life. Thank you so much for taking a chance on me. Because it means more to me than words could ever say. A guy who shot videos from his parents' basement over 17 years ago has come such a long way really because of all of you. And I know that I would have never had the chance to be here in all the generations that I had the chance to be a part of if never because of all of you. So with that having been said, thank you so much for always having chosen this YouTube channel and having made it your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel that may have ever been created. I still have one more video yet to come out. That video will come out just before the stroke of midnight tonight, and it is a conversation I hope you will join me for. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button because your love and support, as always, is very much appreciated, and thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. As I sit in front of you today wearing my Mickey Mouse jean jacket, I have never felt more proud to refer to myself as one of the greatest and most passionate fans of Descendants of Zombies that you won't find anywhere else other than right here on this YouTube channel. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and come along with me on what I promise you will be an unforgettable journey. What challenges and what we will face along the way that remains to be seen, but it's nothing we can't shine out the criticism because of really together, because I think we're stronger together. And we've obviously been made to feel very passionate about our favorite characters and all these wonderful moments together because of how it's always held a very special place in our heart. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for always having a special place in your heart for all things related to Sinister Zombies. And as always, from my heart to yours, thank you so very much for always having the time to have watched and appreciated all of these videos.